This is Speculative Everything, a show that I've curated with 4 different artists and collectives around ideas of history. More specifically about inviting contemporary artists to occupy the past, to kind of insert their own agendas and their own personal histories into what's come before and to see what happens. The artists in the show are SLUSH, Stella Rosa McDonald, Andrew Hazewinkel and Milne. This is Andrew Hazewinkel's work, 12 Figures, after Niccolo, Studies in Anxiety. It's a series of plaster casts that Andrew has recast from a found object that he found in an op shop in Vinnie's. He's taken this kind of authorless bust and recast it into multiples. For each cast that he's done, he's kind of emphasised the seam of the cast and created these beautiful slippages where these 2 different sides of the faces literally press up against each other, and there's a really nice tension between the 2 halves that result in kind of this grotesque disfiguration of the faces. And I love how they're kind of offset by these delicate pedestals that they balance on, and it's based on a work by Botticelli, which was a sculpture that would have originally been cast in marble. So seeing it now in plaster, it kind of has this sense of weightlessness to it, and the new material gives it a completely different context, I feel. For Speculative Everything, SLUSH have engaged with an artist called Julian Dashba and his estate, because he's passed away. And they were interested in restaging one of his works, which is called I'm Afraid of Red, Yellow and Blue, which in turn is kind of an answer to an abstract expressionist painting by Bruce Nauman called Who's Afraid of Red, Yellow and Blue. And in this work, Julian Dashba painted 3 different coloured dots on the wall of a gallery, red, yellow and blue in the primary colours. And SLUSH, when revisiting this work, painted those colours and then erased them, sanding the wall back to its original white and leaving kind of the trace of the primary colours on the floor of the gallery. That was their entry point into the exhibition, and they've taken kind of Julian Dashba's work and made 2 other works from it as well. One being the video work called Colours Heal, which the primary colours are kind of translated into the digital medium. So you get this saturated blue, pink, yellow, and they slowly transform from being these solid colours into this sort of spiritual self-help video where there's kind of a guided meditation and seagulls and crashing waves. And for SLUSH, this has kind of connections to sort of the spirituality of abstract expressionism that Dashba was originally working with, and also this idea of fear is something that they've really picked up on in Dashba's work, I'm Afraid of Red, Yellow and Blue. So this kind of spiritual connection is almost like a self-help guide for Dashba, talking him through his fear of these primary colours, but all mediated through new technologies. And then there's also the lighting installation Boo, which is on the ceiling, existing in between Firstdraft's fluoro lights and spelling out the word Boo. Stella Rosa McDonald's work for Speculative Everything engages with the personal and private life of Ian Fairweather, who's an Australian modernist painter. Stella was less interested in kind of his artwork and more interested in his personal history, particularly a journey he undertook between Darwin and East Timor on a raft. He got blown off course and was kind of between these 2 lands for a 16-day period. Taking this journey as a starting point, Stella's made an installation using cubes of bleach, and she's used 1 cube for every hour that Fairweather was lost at sea. And this kind of bleach in particular was a medium that Fairweather used quite predominantly, and he's known for using kind of makeshift materials. His works often have not stood the test of time. They're kind of deteriorating, waterlogged, quite soluble. So Stella was really interested in these connections between the kind of unstable quality of his work and this journey that he went on that's come to define him both publicly and personally. We also have Milne's Jeté, a movement study. In this video work, 2 male ballerinas dance to Swan Lake in this kind of timeless space. The work was made by repurposing footage from 2 different televised performances that were filmed between 1963 and 1965, and the ballerinas were 2 lovers, so Milne have bring them together in this kind of impossible dance across time. Speculative Everything has developed as being quite a minimal exhibition because 3 of the works were new works and new commissions to the theme. They went through a lot of different iterations, but they were always quite minimal. And it's, yeah, for me, the aesthetics for the show are really in tune, but that was a beautiful accident. So many different kind of colours and textures and materials are shown in dialogue with each other, but were developed completely independently. I think even, the material qualities of Hazewinkel's bus and the connection to the erasure of Julia Dashper's work and the dust on the ground is a really nice connection. And likewise, Stella Rosa McDonald's blue bleach leaves this kind of trace on the floor of the gallery that reminds you of just how tactile they are and that kind of quality that they have. And the material that Stella's working with is so interesting because it's such a vibrant blue colour, but it's something that's originally used to, it's bleach, it's meant to erase colour. That kind of, again, connects to Dashper's work and the fear of colour and this idea of wanting to kind of strip things back or wash things away. And
Speculative Everything, speculative is obviously around at the moment, but what are you interested in this kind of, it's an unstable kind of speculation, is it, or is it a proposal?
I guess Speculative Everything was a proposal, and it came from an idea of thinking about artists kind of reusing the past as their own medium and those kind of the manipulation of what's happened previously and the new truths that are created through that. And then that got me thinking about ideas of kind of everything is so malleable, there is no truth, all those sorts of things that just became apparent. And that's what the idea of speculation was. Like once you start speculating, everything kind of unfolds and there are so many endless possibilities.